The orbital shipyards above Titan gleamed in Saturn's reflected light as Director Nathaniel Pierce stood at the observation deck, watching the final touches being applied to humanity's greatest achievement. The massive vessel before him, designated as the TNS Stormbreaker, represented 5 years of secret development and humanity's answer to an increasingly hostile universe. Status report. Pierce spoke into his comm device, his weathered face reflecting in the reinforced glass. Below, swarms of construction drones continued their precise dance around the warship's obsidian hull. Final systems check at 98% completion, Director, responded Captain Rashmi Patel, her hologram materializing beside him. The quantum core is stable, and shield harmonics are operating within expected parameters. Pierce nodded, his gray eyes never leaving the ship. Unlike the sleek, artistic designs of the Hegemony's vessels, the Stormbreaker was built with purpose, angular, aggressive, and armed with weapons that would make even the most advanced alien civilizations pause. The Galactic Hegemony, a coalition of 7 spacefaring races, had dominated known space for millennia. They'd watched humanity's progress with dismissive amusement, treating Earth and its colonies as primitive curiosities. That was about to change. Sir, Rashmi's voice carried an edge of urgency. Long-range sensors are detecting unusual activity at the edge of the solar system. The energy signatures match known hegemony patrol patterns. Pierce's jaw tightened. They're early. Intelligence suggested we had at least another month before their next surveillance sweep. He activated his neural interface, connecting directly to the station's command network. Begin immediate evacuation of non-essential personnel. Initiate Protocol Thunderbolt. Throughout the massive shipyard, klaxons began to sound. Workers moved with practiced efficiency, their months of drills paying off as they cleared the construction zones. The Stormbreaker's external scaffolding began to retract, piece by piece. Director, a new voice cut through the comm line. Dr. James Wu, Chief Engineer of Project Thunder, appeared on the holographic display. The ship isn't ready for combat deployment. The neural interface systems haven't been fully calibrated, and the weapon harmonics. We're out of time, James, Pierce interrupted. What's our combat readiness percentage? There was a pause before Dr. Wu responded. 87%. We can fight, but I can't guarantee all systems will perform at optimal levels. Pierce watched as 3 distinct energy signatures appeared on the tactical display. Hegemony warships, dropping out of faster-than-light travel at the edge of Saturn's orbit. Their design was unmistakable. The organic, flowing lines of Arcturian engineering. Captain Patel, begin immediate crew transfer. Dr. Wu, you have 1 hour to get those systems as combat-ready as possible. Pierce's voice carried the weight of authority that had made him the youngest director of Earth's Defense Initiative. Sir, Rashmi hesitated. The Hegemony ships haven't made any aggressive moves. Protocol suggests. Protocol assumes we're dealing with standard patrol behavior. Pierce cut in. Look at their formation. That's a hunter-killer configuration. They're not here to observe. They're here to eliminate what they perceive as a threat. The next hour was controlled chaos. As the Hegemony vessels moved closer, maintaining their attack formation, the Stormbreaker's systems came online one by one. Its quantum core hummed to life, generating enough power to run a small city. Shield generators created overlapping fields of protection, and weapon systems charged with enough energy to vaporize a small moon. Captain Patel stood on her bridge, her crew at their stations, each connected to the ship's systems through neural interfaces. The technology was experimental, allowing for reaction times far beyond normal human capabilities. All stations report ready, her tactical officer announced. Weapon systems online. Quantum shields at maximum capacity. Pierce watched from the command center as the Stormbreaker's docking clamps released. The massive warship moved with surprising grace, its maneuvering thrusters adjusting its position with precision. Hegemony vessels entering weapons range, the sensor operator reported. They're charging weapons. Now we show them humanity's true potential, Pierce said quietly. Captain Patel, you have permission to engage. Show them why they should have never underestimated Earth. The battle for humanity's future was about to begin, and the galaxy would never be the same. The hegemony warships moved with predatory grace, their organic-looking hulls gleaming under Saturn's rings. Captain Patel stood firm on the Stormbreaker's bridge, her hands hovering over the neural interface controls as tactical data streamed through her consciousness. Multiple targeting locks detected. Lieutenant Omar Hassan reported, his fingers dancing across the holographic interface. They're not even trying to hide their intentions anymore. The lead hegemony vessel, nearly twice the size of the Stormbreaker, broadcast a message in perfect English. Unauthorized human vessel, power down your systems and prepare for boarding. Resistance will result in immediate termination. Captain Patel allowed herself a small smile. Send no response. Initiate shadow protocol. The Stormbreaker's experimental quantum drive hummed to life, creating microscopic distortions in space-time around the ship. Dr. Wu's voice came through the neural link. Quantum field stable. Ready for shadow jump on your mark. The first salvos from the hegemony ships lit up space, streams of plasma energy designed to disable and destroy. But where they expected to find their target, they found only empty space. Shadow jump successful, Hassan confirmed. We're behind their formation. The Stormbreaker's revolutionary weapon systems powered up. Unlike conventional space weapons, these were based on manipulating quantum states themselves. Dr. Wu had called them reality crackers, weapons that could tear apart the very fabric of space-time. Target their propulsion systems, Patel ordered. Let's show them what humanity's been working on. The quantum beams lanced out, invisible to normal sensors, but devastating in their effect. The nearest hegemony ship's engines simply ceased to exist, transformed into quantum foam. The alien vessel began to drift, its organic hull pulsing with emergency lights. By the void, the hegemony commander's voice crackled through the comms. What manner of weapons are these? Instead of answering, Patel ordered another shadow jump. The Stormbreaker phased through space, reappearing at point-blank range to the hegemony flagship. At this distance, they could see the alien crew through the crystalline viewport. The tall, elegant forms of the Arcturians, their iridescent skin reflecting the emergency lights. Final warning, Patel broadcast. Withdraw from Earth space immediately. The hegemony responded with a full barrage. Energy weapons, graviton beams, and quantum torpedoes. The Stormbreaker's shields flared but held, the experimental defense systems absorbing and redirecting the energy. Shields at 60%, Hassan reported. But their weapons are having minimal effect. Time to end this, Patel decided. Activate the quantum cascade. Dr. Wu's voice carried a note of concern. Captain, the cascade system hasn't been fully tested. The effects could be. We're out of options, Doctor. Execute. The Stormbreaker's quantum core pulsed, sending waves of distorted space-time rippling outward. The effect on the hegemony ships was immediate and devastating. Their organic hulls began to age centuries in seconds, materials breaking down at the quantum level. The alien vessels retreated, their once pristine hulls now scared and deteriorating. As they fled, they'd broadcast one final message. This violation will not go unanswered. The hegemony will not forget. As the enemy ships disappeared into faster-than-light travel, Director Pierce's voice came through the neural link. Excellent work, Captain. But this is just the beginning. They'll be back. And next time, they'll bring their full force. Captain Patel nodded, watching the tactical display as it tracked the retreating vessels. Then we'll be ready for them. Humanity's no longer the primitive species they can ignore. 3 days after the Battle of Saturn, the Stormbreaker hovered in high Earth orbit, its quantum core pulsing with barely contained power. The ship's mess hall had been converted into an emergency command center, where Director Pierce stood before a holographic display of the entire solar system. The hegemony's response force has been detected. Admiral Helena Rodriguez reported, her hologram flickering beside the tactical display. 30 capital ships, including 2 dreadnoughts. They're gathering at the edge of the Kuiper Belt. Pierce studied the force disposition, his expression grim. They're not taking any chances this time. Captain Patel, what's our status? Rashmi Patel stepped forward, her neural interface glowing softly at her temple. Dr. Wu and his team have reinforced our quantum shields. The cascade system has been stabilized, but we can only use it twice before risking core collapse. It won't be enough. Dr. Wu interjected, his hologram joining the others. Not against a force that size. But, he paused, his eyes lighting up with the gleam of scientific inspiration. What if we didn't have to fight them all? The room fell silent as Wu manipulated the holographic display, highlighting the hegemony fleet's command structure. Their entire battle network relies on quantum entanglement for faster-than-light communication. If we could disrupt that network, they'd be blind and divided. Pierce finished the thought. But how? The quantum cascade, Patel realized. Instead of using it as a weapon, we could tune it to interfere with their communication frequency. Dr. Wu nodded enthusiastically. Exactly. But we'd need to get close to their command ship, really close. Pierce studied the tactical display, watching the enemy fleet's movement patterns. They'll be expecting that. They've seen what the Stormbreaker can do. Then we give them something else to worry about. Admiral Rodriguez suggested. Earth's orbital defense platforms aren't just for show anymore. The plan came together quickly. Earth's defensive grid, long thought primitive by hegemony standards, had been quietly upgraded with quantum-based weapons. While not as powerful as the Stormbreaker's systems, they could serve as a devastating distraction. As the hegemony fleet entered the inner solar system, they found Earth's orbital platforms waiting. The aliens' confident advance turned to confusion as their sensors were flooded with quantum interference. Multiple quantum signatures, Hassan reported from his tactical station. They can't tell which is the real Stormbreaker. Captain Patel stood at her command station, neural interface providing real-time updates from every system. Begin Phase 2. Shadow jump in 3, 2, 1. The Stormbreaker vanished, reappearing in the heart of the enemy fleet. Before the hegemony ships could react, the quantum cascade activated, not as a weapon, but as a massive disruption field. The effect was immediate. The elegant coordination of the alien fleet collapsed into chaos as their quantum communication network failed. Ship after ship lost contact with their command structure, their organic computers unable to compensate for the loss of the quantum network. It's working, Dr. Wu announced, his voice tight with concentration as he monitored the cascade system. Their battle network is completely fragmented. The hegemony fleet, once a perfect expression of coordinated power, devolved into individual units fighting for survival. Some ships opened fire blindly, their shots missing the Stormbreaker entirely. Others began emergency retreats, their organic hulls pulsing with distress signals. Send the message, Pierce ordered. All frequencies, all languages. Captain Patel's voice echoed across space. Attention hegemony forces. Your communication network has been compromised. Your forces are divided. This is not a battle you can win. Humanity offers you one chance to retreat. There will not be another. For a moment, space held its breath. Then, one by one, the hegemony ships began to withdraw. The mighty alien fleet, which had arrived to punish humanity, left in disgrace, their vulnerability exposed to the galaxy. As the last enemy ship disappeared into faster-than-light travel, cheers erupted throughout the Stormbreaker. But Director Pierce remained solemn. This isn't over, he warned. We've shown them our strength, but we've also shown them our capabilities. The real war is just beginning. 1 month after the Battle of Earth, the Stormbreaker docked at the newly constructed Quantum Defense Station orbiting Mars. The station's observation deck provided a panoramic view of the red planet below, where construction drones swarmed over the framework of humanity's second quantum warship. Director Pierce stood before the assembled representatives of Earth's nations, his hologram projected simultaneously to billions of viewers across the solar system. Captain Patel and Dr. Wu flanked him, their presence a testament to humanity's achievement. The hegemony's retreat was not the end. Pierce began, his voice carrying the weight of recent events. It was a beginning. For millennia, they ruled through fear and technological superiority. Today, we've proven that humanity will not be subjugated. The quantum communications array suddenly pulsed with activity. Lieutenant Hassan's voice came through the neural network. Director, we're receiving a transmission. It's not just from the hegemony. The holographic display expanded, showing representatives from a dozen alien civilizations, some known, others completely unknown to humanity. Their spokesman, a being of pure energy contained within a crystalline matrix, spoke first. Humanity of Earth, the entity's thoughts translated directly into words. We are the collective of free worlds. For too long, we have watched the hegemony's tyranny spread across the galaxy. Your resistance has given us hope. Dr. Wu stepped forward, his scientific curiosity evident. There are others who oppose the hegemony. Many, the energy being confirmed, but we lack the means to challenge their quantum supremacy. Until now. Your quantum cascade technology, it changes everything. Captain Patel shared a knowing look with Pierce. You're proposing an alliance. More than an alliance, another representative spoke. This one a silicon-based life form whose crystalline body sparkled with internal light. We propose a new order. One where no single power dominates the stars. One where innovation and courage are valued above age and tradition. Pierce studied the assembled aliens carefully. And the hegemony. They are retreating to their core worlds, the energy being replied. Their aura of invincibility is shattered. Already, their subject worlds are declaring independence, but they will not go quietly. Change never comes without resistance. Then we face it together, Pierce declared. Humanity didn't develop our quantum technology to become new tyrants. We did it to protect our freedom. And now we can help protect yours. The next few hours were filled with discussion and negotiation. When it was done, the Quantum Defense Accord was born, an alliance of free worlds, with Earth as a founding member. The Stormbreaker's quantum technology would be shared, but with safeguards to prevent its misuse. As the alien representatives departed, Captain Patel approached Pierce on the observation deck. Quite a change from a month ago, she remarked, watching the diplomatic ships vanish into quantum space. When we were just trying to survive. We did more than survive, Pierce replied. We changed the galaxy, but our work's just beginning. Dr. Wu joined them, his neural interface displaying the plans for the next generation of quantum ships. The quantum cascade was just the first step. With our new allies' knowledge combined with human innovation, there's no limit to what we can achieve. The three of them stood in comfortable silence, watching Mars rotate below. The red planet's surface was already changing, as construction crews from a dozen worlds helped build humanity's first major quantum shipyard. Similar scenes were playing out across the solar system as Earth prepared for its new role in galactic affairs. You know, Paddle said thoughtfully, the hegemony's greatest mistake wasn't underestimating our technology. It was underestimating human nature itself, our drive to innovate, to overcome, to unite against tyranny. Pierce nodded, a slight smile crossing his face, and that's something they'll never understand. The galaxy needed a change. It needed humanity's spirit as much as our quantum technology. As the sun rose over Mars' horizon, casting long shadows across the quantum shipyard, the Stormbreaker's quantum core pulsed with energy, not as a weapon this time, but as a beacon of hope for a changing galaxy. Humanity had found its place among the stars, not through conquest or submission, but by standing firm and offering friendship to those who would stand with them. The age of the hegemony was over. The age of freedom had begun.